All right, hello. Welcome back to another episode of D-Pod. We're doing our new grad series, and today we have Ola in the studio. Hello, Ola.
Hello.
Hello.
Ola.
This is Ola. He's one of our new grads, IIT grad, working as an engineer now in Chicago.
Yeah.
Big bad engineer. Ola's not your full name, though.
Yeah.
What's your full name?
My full name is Ola Ogunaike.
Yeah, but we just call him Ola.
Yeah.
I was really confused at first because Ola is actually not in your first name.
It's in my middle name.
It's in your middle name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then when I saw your first name, I was like, where's the Ola?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. One of our Nigerians here on our team. So hey, you've never been on D-Pod before, so I don't know how you feeling. You feeling okay?
Yeah.
Have you done anything like this before?
Never done a podcast before.
Okay, nice. This is your first step towards stardom.
Nervous.
I don't
know what I'm gonna put out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's literally what Aaron said too. That's cool, man. That's cool. Mm-hmm. So maybe we can just start with a little bit of background. Like tell us about your kind of family, where you grew up and things like that. Just some basic facts.
Yeah. So I grew up in Lagos, Nigeria. I've with my mom and dad and my two older sisters. I came here to Chicago in 2021 for college. Went to IIT, Tech, and just graduated in May 2025.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So we like to find out about people's faith backgrounds a little bit, kind of what was your religious background like growing up and stuff like that. So maybe you can take us through that. Like what was like your church background growing up? How would you describe that to people?
Yeah. So growing up, we went to church as a family every Sunday. I would describe myself personally as only nominally Christian because I didn't really make any personal salvation decision nor really acknowledge God in my day-to-day life, just kind of on Sundays when my parents made us go with them. So yeah, I think that's kind of how I saw Christianity. It's just one of those things that you're supposed to do because everyone kind of around me was Christian and would go to church. Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of how it was. But I will say I really, really enjoyed the praise. It's really, really good. Saxophone, guitar, drums.
Wow.
A bunch of singers jumping, dancing, I'd be like, wow, this is awesome. And then the sermon came and I would fall asleep. But
was it like from what I've heard about some of the Nigerian services, like much longer than what we do?
Oh, right? Yeah. We would do like sometimes 3 different praise. It would be like the opening praise, and then there's like something, and then while you're collecting the offering, there'll be some praise.
Oh yeah.
And then at the end of the service, there's some praises. People are walking out of the building.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So was your main engagement with Christianity at the time Sunday services? Was there any other way in which you kind of got involved, or like even as a nominal Christian, like what was sort of the way that you intersected with like the church life or the Christian life?
Yeah. So other than Sundays, as like preteen/teen, I would like serve with the helping set up like tech equipment, like mics and stuff early for service. I would help with different skits that they were putting on for like special stuff like Easter or Christmas services. So that would entail like weekend practices and stuff. So that was as much as I did. That was mostly because my sisters were really involved. So I would like do things with them or part of the same youth church thing, or my parents would tell me to. But that was about it.
Yeah. But it's neat that they had these opportunities for you, like growing up, that you could serve and help out and different things like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Was your church nearby, or like how far did you guys have to go to?
It was within the neighborhood we lived in, so it was pretty nearby. So I could walk there.
Oh, that's great. Myself. Yeah. That's awesome. I guess, how did your journey with Christ, like where should we go next? Like what's sort of the next arc? Is it like sort of in college, or the next big thing that happened, or?
I'd say it was definitely in college.
Okay.
One specific moment that I think was very impactful for me was around the time I was graduating high school. I remember there's a lot of uncertainty with my life because COVID was going on, and I didn't know if I could go to college because of all the flight restrictions and all of that. And I couldn't get a visa, even though I got admitted to school prior to COVID. I couldn't get a visa to come here. And I just remember there's one day my mom just took me to the church. It was empty, nobody was in there, and we just like knelt at like the front, and she just like prayed over me, prayed over my future, and she like told me, and like I don't remember myself really praying that hard, but just seeing her like praying so hard for me and praying so intensely for me, it really, really touched me. Like, wow, like she really loves me. And like, you know, even if I didn't personally necessarily believe that these prayers were being like heard or answered, just the fact that she believed made me want to believe. So I also joined her in that. And, you know, her prayers were answered and I was able to make it to college kind of miraculously, honestly. And yeah, I didn't have any worries. But yeah, I think going into college, I didn't really seek a church personally.
Yeah.
Even though I still had that in the back of my mind, I had this idea of like, oh, there might be a God out there who like made us, but I didn't really think about it nor want to investigate it for myself. Yeah.
So can we briefly take a quick detour here on talking about IIT? So how did you get connected to Illinois Tech, or like what went into that decision to come to Chicago?
Yeah. So my immediate older sister went to Illinois Tech as well.
Oh, okay.
So she graduated in 2023, just a couple years before me. So that kind of played into that. I applied to a couple other schools. I only applied to like maybe 4 or 5 schools.
Okay.
But IIT gave a pretty nice scholarship.
Okay.
So that was kind of like a major factor. Plus I have cousins and my grandma lives in Illinois. Being close to family was also good because they helped me out a bit during freshman year.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, makes sense. So coming to college, you said, you know, you thought there might be a God out there, but you know, it's not like you were looking to get involved in church. And so how did you eventually get connected with us? So I know that was not until senior year. So what's relevant there? Like that journey. Yeah. So I guess most of college. Well, I didn't know. I guess you went to like different ministries and things like that too. But yeah, so how'd you end up at our church senior year?
Yeah, I was just walking on campus during like welcome week, and I saw Neil handing out flyers with the guy in the shark costume, and I knew Neil because he was friends with my roommate because they're in the same major, biomedical engineering, and they studied together, and I'll study with them sometimes. So I just kind of knew Neil do that, not really too well. And he gave me a flyer for a special talk they were having that week at Sticks and Bricks. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll show up.
Yeah.
I didn't show up, but, but I took the flyer. And yeah, I guess during that time I was just looking for a church because I'd say I was definitely spiritually hungry at that point. So I showed up to service, I think 2 weeks after that, just kind of on my own because I saw different posters posted up everywhere about the location. So I just showed up to the service.
And that was at Congress.
Yeah, at Congress.
Yeah. What was your first response to the shark?
I was just like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah. I was like, oh, there's a dude in there. Yeah.
That's funny. And going to Congress, was that kind of a barrier? Like, because you had to go on CTA, or was it sort of not that big deal?
I'd say it was actually probably major reason why I went. Because if people were offering rides, I definitely would not have gone.
Right.
Yeah, at that. Yeah. I was just very like, I need to get there myself. I need to get back home myself.
Yeah.
So that was not a barrier.
Okay, that's interesting. Well, that's always been my theory as to, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to find a location near public transit. Because for years we had been given rides to IIT students, but I just felt like you can't grow your ministry by giving rides. Like it's like a really personal thing to step in someone's car. Yeah. You know, so that barrier is too high, I think. Yeah. Yeah. So it's something we've been wrestling with, like with all of our campuses and where they're located geographically. It's a little bit hard to find ideal service locations. It always disadvantages somebody. Yeah. So, yep. So I guess you came, and what was like, I don't know, your first impression, and I guess eventually you decided to stick around because obviously you're still here. Yeah. So how did that, what was that thought process for you?
Yeah, I came to service. I don't really remember the sermon, but I just remember talking to a lot of people, which I've been to churches before. I mean, I've had conversations with people, but like, I think just it felt like everyone had a personal interest in me, which was bizarre because I was just a stranger. But yeah, I think just the fact that people were willing to talk to me and like kind of see how I thought about things, and yeah, deciding to stick around. It was something else that probably played a part is just the walk group we had together. So like it would be like me, Neil, YJ, all these other students who were coming to service. So yeah, I think just going to service together on public transit, coming back together, just kind of played I felt like I was part of a community, and we were all going to church together, like learning from the word, and the discussion times were actually like have a chance to think about how we can apply this, think about how this is addressing us. Yeah. And yeah, I think all those things like together, just like, well, I feel like this is a really solid like church I can keep going to.
Man, I forgot about those walk groups. We should bring back those walk groups.
Yeah, it's just, man, Neil and YG needs to stop going for early setup. And I know.
They need to lead walk groups, man. Yeah. No, I remember we said like, oh yeah, it'll be easier for people to come if they have a walk group they can join. Yeah. Oh man, I forgot about that. We need to bring that back. Anyways, so so you stuck around and kind of as you think about like your journey as a Christian, and then especially I guess in college and maybe especially senior year, like what are ways that God really addressed you? Like what were some kind of, I don't know, important decisions or realizations you had in that year? Yeah.
That senior year?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think I had made a salvation decision in my junior year and heard the gospel clearly, and like, wow, like I thought about this wrong the whole time. Yeah. And I think at the point when I started coming to our church in my senior year, I was pretty much like a very pharisaical, like just like I'm a Christian, I know what's up, like y'all are doing it wrong, that kind of person. Like I was like very judgy, like trying to look for little bits and pieces, like I don't think that's exactly right. So I think I definitely at some point along the way just started to let go of that idea that I had it right, because I just become a Christian like not that long ago, but I've just because of all the experiences I had growing up and all these things I've already like learned from the Bible, I thought I was in a pretty solid place personally, and I had the right to, like, even if I wasn't a solid place, I didn't have the right to really judge other people. But yeah, just that got loosened a lot because I actually started forming genuine like connections with people, and like even the friends I had before who weren't necessarily Christian, I started to like not see them as people I look down on and judge, but people I could actually like reach out to or like develop a more like a deeper relationship than what we had, because I think a lot of my friendships were very like just friendships of convenience because we're in the same location, or we both like Chinese food, just those kinds of things. Yeah.
You like Chinese food?
I love Chinese food.
I was not expecting you to say that. What was your favorite Chinese restaurant?
Hingguan. Oh, IIT? Oh, yeah.
I was thinking near IIT as a student, I guess.
IIT. I would go to Chinatown.
Chinatown? Yeah, Chinatown. I mean, it's right there. There's so much good
There's
Chinese
this place called, is it Kenki or something? I don't remember the name.
Kenki? The baker? Is it a baker?
No, it's a sit-down.
Oh, Kenki. Oh, yeah. It's one of the ones in the new Chinatown. Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Good crab rangoon.
Solid. Yeah, so it's been cool, like just seeing you grow in our ministry, take your identity as a Christian more seriously, get involved in ministry and things like that. And then you graduated, right?
Yeah.
And so you got a job here and you stayed around. So what went into the thought process to stay around in Chicago? Was that a hard decision? Like what, and if related, I don't know if it's related at all, but also the decision to stay at our church and serving at our church, like kind of how did you think through your undergrad to post-grad transition?
Yeah. To stay in Chicago, I think that was kind of always the plan for me. Yeah. In college, like as leading up to graduation, I was almost exclusively just applying to jobs in Chicago because I really wanted to stay. I like the city. I like the CTA, the public transport. There's like everything in here. There's a lot of good Chinese food. Yeah, I knew a lot of people here, and there's family in Illinois. So I just thought about these things, man, like Chicago would be ideal. Plus, I don't want to have to move to another city after I already like settled in here. Yeah. But I mean, if I got if I only got jobs outside of Chicago, I probably would have moved. But I was pretty intent on staying in Chicago. And then in terms of our church, man, upon like graduation and learning about the different like pathways, becoming a member or not, and just thinking about it, I wrestled with it pretty hard because I was like, man, like there's like, I've never been to a church like this.
Yeah.
But then they're just so busy. I feel like I was thinking about it, man, they're so busy. I don't know if I can like actually like do that. Like how do these guys like have the time to go to work and be with their wives and also like hang out with us and also like, I don't know, just go to church and take that and set up and have their individual, I don't know, personal meetings outside of the time with students. So I was just thinking about all that, like, wow, like, I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think the thought was actually, I don't know if I wanted to do that.
Right.
So there's like, I don't know how long it was, like a period of like a week, 2 weeks. I was just like, man, like, do I want to stay? Do I want to go?
Yeah.
If I go, where would I go? So I started looking at other churches and I was like, oh. And I started actually like thinking about it objectively and not just the church, but myself, because I was thinking about all the things I was thinking about. I was like, oh, like busyness, the like how there's the discipleship structure that they follow from the Bible, like really intensely. And they actually like live it out, like the peer class system and like this is my leader, like my mentor, all that. I was thinking about all these things and how my reasons for not wanting to necessarily be a part of that were simply like, if I boil it down to what it actually was, it was actually just me wanting to not let go of like my comfort, my autonomy over my life, my fear of missing out of like on like other things I could be doing my time other than the shared like schedule we were keeping. So after I thought of it through that lens, I was like, well, like it's kind of selfish because my experience, even if I was only here like for a year, my experience of our church was really great, and that was only made through the sacrifices and through the like the attentiveness of all the mentors, and them sacrificing their time and energy for that. And like, wouldn't it be beautiful if I was able to even do a little bit of that myself by joining in? So that was kind of what I was thinking about. And I was like, yeah, like what, like being the Christian isn't about like me seeking to find the best church to maximize my comfort or find the church that suits my needs, because I don't think I would have ever found that. I don't think even if I looked, I don't think I've ever found one that was perfect for me or like didn't really like mess with what I thought my life. And it's not like I had these grand plans. I didn't have anything specific I wanted to do. I just wanted to have the opportunity.
You just want to eat Chinese food?
Eat Chinese food. And I just wanted to have the opportunity of free time if I wanted to do something.
Yeah.
But there's nothing I particularly like was looking forward to doing. So yeah, I think once I thought about it, I was like, yeah, like I should stay because I want to actually give these experiences I hold dear as core memories to another person in some way. And I also want to continue to invest in the relationships I've already started with my peers and my mentors and everyone else in the church. So
I'm glad you voiced that, because I think, so I didn't know you went through all that struggle, and but it makes sense to me. I mean, I'm glad you did, because I kind of feel like people should, like you know what you're getting into, like here, like, you know, and in some ways it's like a lifelong kind of series of those kinds of decisions, right? Like, because I think living the way that we do, trying to coordinate the schedules of, you know, like for us, it's like 40 something, you know, co-vocational ministers, and trying to build a church, you know, with everyone's efforts together while raising our kids, while, you know, being a actual church family. Like, that's not trivial. It's not a trivial amount of work. And so there are definitely costs associated with that, you know, that people individually have to decide to make, you know, and it's not something that everyone wants to do. And so, which is why we try to be upfront about, you know, what it would look like if you join and things like that. And so I'm really glad that you went through that. What struck me from how you were describing it, though, was that even as a student, you could sense somehow that the staff were really busy. So then that's what got you thinking about like, oh, I don't know if I want that. You know? Can I ask about that? Like, what is it that you picked up on, or what was it that you were observing that made you feel like, oh my gosh, but they're so busy? You know, like, was it particular things, or was it? I'm just curious, like, where you got those observations from.
Yeah, I think it wasn't anything in particular. It was more overall. Because I mean, we got to see like how you guys would go on, you know, these retreats with us, and I imagine like that could have been like like fall retreat, for instance, which was really impactful for me. But that could not have been an easy undertaking to like plan this all out, get all this food, coordinate all these rides because people had to do those rides, and then things like Reverb that we did, and those are just the snapshots of like the things we as students were involved in. And you know, I know like at some point you guys talked about the broader network and you know what you guys did, and I was like, wow, like they're probably like doing so much more than I see, so much more than I could understand. And you know, when I got to go to AWC, like wow, like there's a much bigger like network of people who are all doing this thing, and it's like wow, like that was what kind of kept on growing that fear, like wow, like they're so like they just do a lot.
I don't know if I want that.
Yeah. So a lot of it was assumptions based on what I was already seeing, like the things I was already seeing you guys do, and then things like Percy coming to IIT for every Friday morning to do DT with us. So like, man, that's definitely not an easy undertaking. So
no, so that makes a lot of sense. So you're thinking about the implications of these things that you're being blessed by, and on top of that, you get the network effect. Like you just go to AWC and you see like it's not just these people. Like it's like a lot of people are doing this, and I guess that's what it would mean to join this group, right? And so I think that's really perceptive, and I don't know. Sometimes there's part of me that wishes it were a little bit easier for. You know, because our heart is not to make it hard to join us, like, but it's just that we want to be upfront about what it will be like, though, so that people don't get blindsided or people don't feel like it was some sort of bait and switch.
Yeah.
And so, but then what people have to also understand is that it's not like a binary switch. It's not like, okay, boom, and then like you're running at 100%. It's not like that either, right? Because it's sort of contextual and depending on your stage of life, depending on your commitment level, depending on what you've signed up for, like the expectations on your schedule and things like that are different, right? And so I'm sure you feel the difference even between when you were a student versus when you signed up for Siegel versus when you signed up to be a team apprentice, right? The kind of the expectations of what you would be at in terms of the schedule shifted over time, right? And so, I definitely think that's true. I think it's also true, though, that in post-grad life, it's not just that we're busy and that there's a lot of work to do. I mean, it is that. But I think part of the reason that we're able to keep doing it is because there's so many other blessings and so many other things to be grateful for in the context of a close church community. Yeah. And so what are some of those things that you've seen, like kind of being on the other side now of like putting on some of these events yourself and having to make the drive down to Chicago to run small groups and all of that. But then experiencing that in the context of the postgrad community. What are the things that keep you going? Like keep you going, and I guess we could generalize that to be like what keeps people going. Like how can we maintain this?
Yeah, I definitely after joining, I don't think there's been that many times, or if there have, that I've been like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. Why am I doing this? Blah, blah, blah. Because I think one major aspect is just, doing it together. I'm not alone. I'm not like just carrying a lot of load by myself. There's definitely people carrying even more load than I am currently. But just the fact that I get to do with other people, do with other people who have a shared vision, shared mindset about what we're doing and why we're doing it has definitely helped. And I think, just being able to be involved in the ministry team, even in the small part, has blessed me so much. The blessing of doing outreach, trying to reach out to people to invite them to events, and then going to these events and trying to engage with people. And then through that, like getting to know people like that I would have never gotten to know otherwise. I think about the U Chicago service, and there's all these students that I've never seen before, but now I have developed a relationship with them in some way. And even in just like the past, I think 6 months, like, wow, like, how would I have ever met these students? Like, I have no business at U Chicago at any point during my college career.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So it's pretty amazing that I've gotten to know these people, I think, and I want to continue to invest in those relationships, but also the post-grad community. I think as a student, I never really got like to the depth I am now with them, just getting to know. I think as a student, I was just like, wow, these guys are like, wow, all these software engineers are like, yeah, they're probably like super Christian. Yeah, like, not that they aren't, but like they just have it all together. And getting to like actually talk to them personally, get to know different guys personally. I've seen like, wow, like a lot of things like I'm currently struggling with as a post-grad, they can speak into that because they've had the same struggles, and they can actually like, they've actually blessed me so much by sharing their insights. I think those are the main things. Just the fact that I have this wealth of relationships and the fact that I'm not doing it alone. Yeah. It just blesses me so much.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so you've been increasingly kind of involved in building up our postgrad community, doing ministry. One thing that's unique about you, though, is that even though you're kind of one of our postgrad members, you don't live at Sawmill, right? And so because you had gotten a place at, I know you had wanted to, after you decided to become a member, you wanted to move in with people, but then you had already signed a lease. So then you were sort of in that kind of tricky situation. So we're like, oh, well, you have to be in your lease, I guess. So yeah. So how have you been managing that? Like, I sometimes forget that you live at Sawmill. Don't live at Sawmill because I like see you there a lot too. So how often do you think you're actually at Sawmill? And what's the thought process behind that? Like, why, you have your own place that you could go back to, but I find that you're there a lot. So
yeah. I think during the time I was looking for places, because I started looking like in like end of February to like beginning of March. Man, I gotta get a place. I'm graduating soon, and then I found this place, and then I think that around that time you guys mentioned, oh, we could all the new grads could live with you. And I think I was just kind of fearful, like, man, I don't know where they're going to live. They still haven't told me. So I just got a lease. And then by the time he decided, I was like, yeah, peace, guys.
For sure.
But yeah, I think like now I'm at Sawmill, like week in, week out, I'm at Sawmill Friday night till Monday night.
Yeah, that seems like the case. Yeah.
And last week I was there like Tuesday night to Sunday night. So it varies. Sometimes more, but usually every weekend I'm there. So about 40% of the time. And yeah, I think some of it is convenient because we go to Elgin for MBS. So I sleep
get
over,
a ride
get
and
a
stuff
ride.
like that.
Yeah, but why I stay like so much more than the day I need to is like, I think I've begun to develop these relationships with all the single bros. And the more time I get to spend with them, the more time we get to I get to kind of live with them, but not really. I just appreciate the fact that, I have them in my life more and more. I think we have a lot of fun. We make a lot of jokes, but then once in a while, we also have serious conversations about how we're doing. And then we go back to fun. But yeah, I think I personally never had brothers growing up, but it feels more and more like I have brothers now. So yeah, I think the thought process is, there's probably not a whole lot of thought. It's like, I like being there, so I stay there a lot more than I should. But
no, I'm glad you feel comfortable staying there.
Yeah.
What's become your usual spot?
Usually the couch. I really like the couch, but then Max is always like beating me to it. So I take the trifold.
Oh, I see. Is that 237?
237.
Yeah. 237 is a slightly bigger one. So nice. So as you've experienced being part of our postgrad community, what's been different? Like, how would you characterize what's been different between like being a student in our ministry and then as a postgrad, like kind of experiencing more of the community, things like that? What's been some highlights for you from this past year?
Yeah, I think as a student, I definitely had a lot of fun with hanging out with the postgrads, grabbing meals, hooping, talking. I think as a post-grad, I've had way more fun. Just doing life with people, serving together for setup, takedown, service, all the other opportunities we get to do that. And I think highlights is just like grabbing meals with people. I think it's something I've really been able to appreciate a lot more. Just either having dinners at their apartments or just grabbing meals like at restaurants and getting to talk, getting to know each other more. And I've grown the muscle of actually having intentional conversations and not just talking about random stuff. But yeah, I've been able to get to know them better. And I think one way I would describe it is like as a student, I was more of a visitor. Now I feel like I'm part of a family. I'm like adopted child in a family because, you know, you guys have like history together from before. And now I just like get plopped in there and I get to make my own memories with you guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Grafted into the family of God.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. What has been challenging? You know, there's always two sides to the same coin.
Yeah.
So what's been challenging about post-grad life, that maybe things that you didn't expect?
Yeah. What has been challenging? What's been challenging is, I think going into post-grad life, I wouldn't have explicitly said this, but some part of me probably thought I was like a gift to you guys. Like I was like,
I'll contribute.
Yeah, I'll contribute. I got you guys.
Yeah.
There's kind of that mentality, like, I'm pretty good at different things. I'm not good at some things, but I wouldn't do those things. I only do the things I'm good at, so you guys can praise me. But I think more and more as I serve, get these new opportunities to serve and like take hold of more. I'm not that good. I'm not that I'm not that smart, not that competent, not that confident either in a lot of things. And I think the more and more that gets revealed to me, the more I realize like, wow, like they don't like me because I'm competent, because I'm not competent.
Yeah.
So it's just like, getting to understand myself, realize this part of myself. Like I want to be seen as competent. I want to be seen as being able to do these things because I attach value to that. I attach like, oh, if I'm able to be good at this, they'll love me. But I've been personally told that I'm not very good at some of these things that I thought I was, and yet they still love me. So I think it's a hard pill to swallow. I remember a conversation I had with Hal on the train as we were commuting together and just talking, and I was expressing some of the ways in which I thought I was like I failed in the past couple months or not done as good as I thought I should have. And he's like, like it's fine. Like I don't measure you based on what you can do and like your level, because you're gonna fail. Like you're gonna continue failing probably. But like you're part of the family, and I love you like regardless. And I was like, wow, what a comforting man. Yeah. But just having to really realize that about myself, because some part of me was still attaching value, not only within myself but in other people about what they can contribute. But just kind of get myself out of that mindset. It's been a long process. I'm still kind of going through it because sometimes it does come up. Because it's been part of my life for such a long time. But it's definitely one area I was like, wow, I need to grow up in this area. Yeah, dude,
it's a perpetual thing. Like I just feel like it's so ingrained in us to gain our sense of security, belonging, identity from what we accomplish and what we do, what we can contribute. And it's really, really hard when we feel like we're not, when we feel like we failed, we didn't do our part, or, we didn't pull our weight or whatever it is. And in some ways we need many experiences of that, and realizing that the community around you, the family of God, doesn't depart, doesn't run away from you then, and just continues to be covenanted with you. As long as you're committed to Jesus, we're committed to each other, and you don't need to, performance is not really the metric by which you gain access to this community, right? So no, for sure. I love that, that Hal said that to you. If you don't mind sharing, what is one thing that you thought you were good at that you realize you're not? You want to confess to the entire internet?
I just thought I was really good at life. Like in general, I know how to like plan stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like really good like with finances.
Yeah.
I don't make bad decisions.
Yeah.
My speech is really good. I don't
Yeah.
like make other people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Or like, but then I realize, oh, I do say things that hurts people's feelings. Wow,
Yeah.
actually, I'm
Just
not.
that no one told you before.
I'm not
Yeah.
that good at planning stuff. I don't have my life together. If not for the one stop, oh my gosh. Yeah, just all these different things. Like, wow, like I just had this false like notion about myself in these areas.
Yeah. Yeah.
That I'm like, I don't know where they came from. Yeah, but definitely no one ever told me before. But the fact that because I was able to build this close relationships, they don't feel bad telling me.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
I'm not. This is my first time doing life, so I'm not that good at it.
Yeah. I mean, you might have been good at it in the context that you were in before.
Yeah.
Like, because you realize until you graduate, you're in this very like artificial space called school where you're expected to do only a few things.
Yeah.
Like keep yourself alive and take tests, it's like, right? And like in that context, you might have been fine. You might have been good. You might even have been excellent. And then we get thrown into kind of new environments where there's more variables, there's more things to think about, and suddenly you're not able to do it anymore, right? And then we have to grow, right? And it's a continual growth process. And so the more humble we are, recognizing, hey, like it's okay to not know how to do this, and let's just get help and let's grow so that later I have more capacity, right?
Yeah.
So that when life does get more complex, like when you get married or when you have kids, like those things don't defeat you, right? Because you've grown, you've continuously grown through that. Yeah, that's good. So you've been serving as part of our South Pod, kind of involved in our Chicago ministry. So it started off with you becoming a Seagull, one of our small group leaders, and then you guys were leading that. You and Luke were leading that together. So. What have you learned from just your involvement in Chicago ministry this past year? Everything from Chicago specific stuff to just what have you learned about ministry and all that stuff?
Yeah, Chicago is very different.
Very
from
different.
IIT.
Very different.
Yeah, the quarter system is. I still don't understand it, but
I still don't understand it.
I think just doing small groups and the guys we got to know through that. Man, they were busy guys. I think in college, I'd say I was busy about 50% of the time. Like I didn't study perpetually. I studied like 4 days to an exam, 3 days to an exam maybe. But I think just because they had so many exams, so many projects, so many things, just always studying, always. Yeah. And also always trying to join clubs, trying to progress their career, go on the business tracks, all those things. So I just think, wow, I was very taken aback at how busy their lives were. Yeah. But then I was also encouraged because, we did the small groups for the quarter, and almost every single meeting, at least like 4 guys came, and sometimes like 6 or 7. But then I think like it's like, wow, even though they can admit that they're pretty busy and these things are like really important to them, they're still like coming to our small group, and like half of them I don't know them, and Luke only knew like 2 of them beforehand. So it's just like it was very confusing, in some way, but also very encouraging because I know it's not because I'm particularly just a lovable guy that they want to like spend all your time with, nor is Luke. But I think they were really, really spiritually hungry, and they wanted to invest time in the Word of God. And they even told us, you can just do more content. We don't need to do the fun stuff. But I think that was kind of a really good experience for me personally. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, I'm thankful for you guys taking on the Chicago small groups, and then after that, we kind of pulled that back a little bit because of Nobleman. So we started up Nobleman in the South Side. Want to pilot that here in Chicago. What's that been like? Like, what's a word to describe Nobleman thus far and how it's been?
Intense.
Nobleman
is intense.
All right, tell me about that.
I think going into it, I was pretty like fearful because I was like, wow, like. Everything I'm hearing about this program is it's pretty high commitment. We have to pay $100 buy-in at the start, and there's a lot of time commitments, at least like 6 hours during the week outside of the regular stuff we do. So I was pretty scared, and starting up and going through it, there are times I'm like, wow, this is a struggle. Because I have to meet these assignments. If not, I don't make it to the end. And it kind of keeps you accountable in that way. But I think one major thing that I have appreciated about the whole course is there are things that we've been able to bring to light that I don't think would have ever been brought to light if not for this program.
Yeah.
Within ourselves and within just manhood.
Yeah.
And how we can grow in that. I don't think I would have gone to hear these other people's personal histories in terms of what they thought about being a man and how it's been shaped and changed and how my thoughts on manhood have changed. So yeah, it was just been a very illuminating experience. I've gotten to grow close to all the guys because we rotate calls with each other every week. So I've gotten closer to everyone in some way personally.
This is wingman calls, right?
Yeah, wingman calls.
The one-on-one. Every day you have to call each other.
Yeah.
Share about something from scripture and pray. It's a hike. It's a big commitment to do it every day. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I've definitely got reps in praying for people.
Yeah. That was good. Yeah, no, I'm really grateful. Like I think that I see you guys all being challenged together to take each other seriously, take yourself seriously, take your walk with Christ seriously, and nothing like some structure to bring that about and bring and enforce like good habits like within us. So thankful that we're doing that. How about we do around the shout outs? So just you get to choose 3 people, okay? Just one person who has mentored you, okay, this past year, and then one person that you've mentored, and then a friend. Okay. Like, but you have to keep it to those 3. I know you want to start listing off people, but you can't list off. You just got to choose 3.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for saying that. I would have listed off. Yeah. One person who's mentored me, I know Percy. I want to shout out Percy. Yeah. I think as students, I didn't really get to know him too well other than the Friday morning DTs. And he showed a lot of interest in me. And I mean, all the mentors did, but he was pretty supportive. He showed up to my musical that I did in college. I was like, why did he come? But it was really nice that he came. But yeah, I think this past year we've been able to get to know each other better, and I think he's grown more comfortable speaking into my life, which I've appreciated. Yeah, and I've in turn tried to be more open and kind of like just express what I'm going through and what I need help with, so you can just speak directly and not have to poke and prod as much anymore. But yeah, I think I've definitely appreciated his mentorship. The person I've mentored, this is hard to say just because like I don't know, recently graduated. I don't know, maybe he wouldn't agree, but I think Evan just and I wouldn't say I went out of my way to mentor, like give him advice, but just him reaching out and asking me to meet up or calling me out of the blue sometimes, or me just showing up to his workplace to see how he's doing. And I just think he's been a blessing on my life personally, because I've seen I've experienced how I can think about issues that I've gone through, but never really like gave a second thought to, and like express what I did, the mistakes I made to another person in a way that they kind of like can form their own opinion and like decide what to do, what steps to take in light of this new information. So I think, that relationship has definitely been really impactful this past year. And one friend is Luke, my peer and co-UChicago Seagull for the fall quarter. I think our relationship has definitely grown a lot since becoming post-grads, more so than the students, because we didn't really have to see each other as much, being on different campuses. But yeah, I think he's just a very, very unique guy. I think I've never really met anyone like Luke before, but in the ways that he's unique and different from me, I've really grown to appreciate a lot more, even though those very things would like push me away at first or like make me want to draw away. But yeah, just appreciating the fact he's very different from me, very relational, pretty open, and just like unwilling to let a relationship just die out. Those are things that I felt challenged by because I'm pretty unrelational by default, pretty introverted, not really gonna speak my mind unless like it's asked explicitly. So yeah, I think those are the 3 people I'll be shouting out.
Nice. So let's do a quick lightning round of questions. Okay, so for these, you have to just give me your gut response, and it just got to be just a short answer.
Oh, okay.
Okay, one word or phrase. Okay, so all right, let's start with some easy ones. All right, what is the best cheap meal that you can get near IIT on a student budget?
Maxwell's.
What is that?
It's a burger Polish joint.
Oh, okay.
Cash only.
Oh, okay.
Really good.
Nice. Favorite restaurant in Chicago? No budget.
Hingwang, best fried rice in town.
Oh, really? Where
Yeah.
is that?
It's in Uptown Chicago.
Oh, really?
Cash only as well. Check it out.
All right, take me sometime.
Yeah, for sure. Any excuse to go there. It's
Yeah.
opposite my apartment.
Oh, nice. Nice. Podcast or playlist during your commute?
Playlist.
Playlist. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a go-to playlist? No.
Actually, not play. I just put it on shuffle.
Oh, I see. I
Yeah.
see. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Shuffle. Got it. Okay. What was your first big kid purchase after graduation? Like, ooh, I make money now, and so I can buy stuff. What is it like a memorable one?
Mattress?
Yeah, adulting. Okay, adulting.
A queen size mattress?
Queen size mattress. I guess you're pretty tall. You're like, how tall are you? 6'6"?
6'5".
6'5". Yeah, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Queen size mattress. Okay, what is your most used emoji at work?
The shocked face, like the
Really?
the mouth open, circular mouth open, shocked face.
Oh, shoot.
I use that a lot.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
A lot of shocking things happening at work. Huh? Okay.
Every day.
Okay. What is one adult chore that you did not realize would be so time consuming?
Cleaning,
Just
Like-
generally cleaning.
like cleaning a bathtub, a toilet, like
Yeah.
a bathroom, a
Yeah.
stovetop. Those things are
It just takes constant maintenance.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
like wow, like I just have to do this
Yeah.
so often.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. What is one thing that as a freshman in college you thought you would have figured out by now, but you haven't?
Oh my gosh, my freshman self was a pretty bad guy.
Pretty bad guy.
I think I probably figured I'd be like, I don't know, like pretty settled, like pretty established in my, I'm like straight out of college, get like this big boy 6-figure job, live in a penthouse. I don't know, something like that. It was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I had these lofty dreams of like being wealthy and like,
Okay.
yeah, just being like, yeah. I'll always say it to my friends, you know, I'm gonna be like, or I want to be like rich but not famous, you know, just like low key rich.
Okay.
you know,
Just low key rich.
Yeah.
Man. That's funny. Okay, and then this one, it doesn't have to be short, but just kind of whatever comes to mind. What's a piece of advice that you would give your senior year self?
Senior year, so
Yeah, so just a year ago, I guess.
move into Sawmill, bro. Just move into Sawmill. It's gonna be so much easier for you. You know, like you're there like half the time anyway. You know, it's gonna save you so much.
That's funny.
So much money, so
Wow,
much time.
I was not expecting something so specific, but I guess that makes sense for you. Nice. We have a little bit of time left, so do you have any questions for me that you want to ask?
Yeah. What is your? This is hard to answer actually. I'll just ask it. What is your hope for all the new grads as we go from being second year outs this upcoming year?
Hope for the upcoming year?
For us, yeah, this upcoming year.
Upcoming year. Yeah, my hope is that you guys would become the next generation of homegrown leaders. Like I feel like your class represents a new generation actually. So there's sort of the so we have homegrown leaders already. So people like, you know, Eden and Joel and Charlotte, you know, these are obviously people who came from our campus ministries, but they came in a stage in our ministry when we were still very much like we only knew how to do ministry in one way, which was like, you know, plop down next to campus and you just keep reaching out to that campus. And, you know, it was very like campus centric. I think you guys are the first gen that are kind of the products of after we made the shift to think about Chicago as a city and figure out how do we as a church reach more, not just the campus, but the city and all the college students in it. And so I feel like your guys' experience of our church even is a little bit different even from the other homegrown leaders we have. So my hope for you guys would be that you would see yourselves as that group of disciples that has been raised up so that you can take on the Great Commission here in the city of Chicago and not be so like campus centric in how you view things, but to really take yourself seriously and to wonder, hey, how can we as a group of brothers, like how can we influence another group of younger bros and call them to Jesus and call them to a life of following? And if you guys could experience doing that together, I feel like in some sense, you guys are also the first group of guys that we've had. They've been like pairs or solo, like, because our ministry here has always been kind of small, and so I feel like it could represent a pivot point for Chicago ministry where we get more of this kind of, hey, like a college student saying, hey, I want to be like them, not like, hey, I want to be like that guy, but like I want to be like them and how they are. I that would be my hope, that you guys could be a part of that kind of shift happening in Chicago. So
wow, it's a big hope.
Yeah, big hopes.
We'll try our best to meet that. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah. Another question is, I guess for you personally, you've been in Chicago, what, 7, 8 years?
7 years. Yeah,
7 years now. Do you have anything you want to try or do before you may potentially leave Chicago?
Potentially leave Chicago? What do you mean?
Potentially leave Chicago every year, but
I guess so, huh? Yeah. I've been slated to leave Chicago for many years now, but I'm still here. So, oh man, anything I want to try? You mean just like in the city or
in the ministry?
In the ministry.
The group, yeah.
Oh man. Oh, I see. Like in terms of ministry, there is something that I've been wanting to try that I haven't been able to pull off, which is there are so many schools in Chicago that we're not currently reaching because they're commuter schools. I think there's huge potential to reach commuter students who are commuters. So they drive or they take public transit. And I think with our new model of like trying to gather people at these Sunday service locations and help them experience community when they can't experience community on their campuses, I feel like it's actually a really good fit. It's just that because we have co-vocational ministers, it doesn't work out in our schedule. Because for all those campuses, you have to go at like 2 to 4 p.m. Like that's sort of the ideal range. And so something I've wanted to try is like either having people sign up to be a group, like let's just get like 6 to 10 people together who can maybe even ask their jobs for alternative work schedules and say like, hey, I'll work morning until lunch and then I'll work evening or something like that. And then they actually have the afternoon free. Right. And maybe get those people together. So whatever you would have done in the evening, you just do in the afternoon. Right. And you start going after some of these schools like UIC, like Oakton College, like all the city colleges of Chicago, like CCC, like so many campuses everywhere, even NEIU. I mean, like NEIU, it's only been going on this whole year. The North Pot staff, along with some of our student leaders, have been going and running events at 4 p.m. And they had to basically ask their bosses for alternative work schedules. So I'm trying to see if that's a scalable model. Or it could be a model for people who maybe work different kinds of jobs that like maybe are in the evenings or like, I don't know, sometimes nurses and like other kinds of professions have like work hours that are kind of off. So then like, I wonder if there's a way to get those kinds of people together to tackle a whole nother area of Chicago that we just haven't been able to tap. So I'm like, UIC is right there. It's like got 30,000 students, but we haven't been able to do much.
That makes sense.
Yeah. That's something that's just constantly been in the back of my mind, but I have not been able to action on anything.
That makes sense. Commuter schools.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get to do that before you leave.
That'd be nice. No, I even visited like Oakton College recently because I'm still trying to. For me, like that vision is very alive. I'm like, oh man, I need to figure out. But then it's like our staff are busy already doing the ministry we have anyway. So I feel like it's not like we have a bunch of like excess manpower lying around either. So yeah.
Move to Chicago.
Yeah. If you guys want to join Chicago ministry, we can always use more people. It's a big city.
It's got good Chinese food.
Nice. Anything else?
No, that's it for me.
That's it. Nice. Any final words that you want to say to the pod before we sign off?
What have people been saying? I don't know what to say.
I can't tell you.
Oh, okay. Tech, yeah.
You got to explain that to people.
That's IIT's like, chant. Like you say tech, yeah.
Because Illinois Tech.
Yeah. Or yeehawk.
Yeehawk? Oh, I've never heard that before.
Yeah. That's
a little cringe. All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on the pod today. All right. Thanks everyone for listening to another episode of D-Pod. That was a conversation with Ola, one of our new grads, and we'll continue to interview them. All right. See you later. Bye-bye.